Hey, Thomas. Just waiting on Emily, and then we're going to get started. Hey, unconventional photograph. Hey. Hi, Alex. Thanks, unconventional photograph. Wait till Emily joins us. This sexy woman here, too. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So, everybody, as you're joining, let us know where you're joining from. We'd love to hear from you. I am joining from Las Vegas. And where are you joining from, Emily?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Awesome. I love
Can
the
you hear me?
power of the internet. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just wasn't sure if you could hear me okay.
Yep, we can hear you for sure. I was just saying, I love the power of the internet, that we can all come together in one place and hang out.
Yeah, seriously, this is crazy.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me today. I just wanted to sit down with you and kind of just share your story, because I feel like it's really inspirational, and I feel like a lot of photographers will relate, because it's not always easy to be a creative and have a business.
Yeah.
I'd love for you to introduce yourself, kind of tell us where you're at, like what made you fall in love with photography. But before that, just give us a little bit of background info about you.
Okay. Well, I've been doing photography for about 6 years. But before that, I was in sales, but I've always loved photography. I always loved going through Pinterest and just being inspired by photos that really made me feel something. And 5 years ago, when I became a mom, my passion for sales just like went out the back door. It was like 1 minute I was obsessed with it, and the next minute I'm like, oh, this baby, I just want to photograph this baby and keep all these details fresh in my mind forever. And so, when my first was born, I was just obsessed with taking his picture. Here comes my cat. Sorry.
That's okay.
And so I was taking pictures of him, and I'd post them on Facebook, and all of a sudden I started having, my mom's, mom friends saying, oh my gosh, I love those pictures. Would you be interested in taking some pictures of my kids? And so I did it for a hobby for like a year and a half. Like, I wasn't charging. I was just doing it for free, and because I love it. And, when you do what you love, you don't really think about the financial aspect of it, because you just love what you do. And so I got into family photography, and then I really studied that, and I did that for a few years. And then I branched into what I really connect with, and that's just connections and love, and, between two people, or whether it's families too, but really just capturing that raw beauty of two people that are madly in love with each other is something that I draw so much inspiration from, and I love to document that. So that's kind of like what got me started, was becoming a mom, and then being drawn to people in love, and, doing it. So, getting into like the boot camp, it took me, a few years to figure out the business side of things, because I was definitely a as you say, don't be a starving artist, right? And that's kind of where, finding your boot camp has just been a complete game changer for me, as far as photography and going from hobby and doing it for fun to actually being able to make it a sustainable business. But I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself there, but.
No, you're totally fine. So what made you decide to go from doing it, something that you love doing, to actually turning it into a business where you're profitable?
Yeah, so that stems from my family. So I grew up on a 300-acre farm, and my heart has always been with the farm, and I've loved it. I'm a baby of 3, and my older brother's in the Army, and so he's always, he's usually overseas, or he's always stationed somewhere. And then my sister is a teacher in California, and so I was the only one that stayed in New Hampshire. And So my grandfather, who purchased the farm, like 80 years ago, he passed away, and he renovated the old farmhouse that actually came with the farm, and he built the house that I'm in right now, for my family that I grew up in. And so what happened is when he passed away, my parents were left with the responsibility of paying taxes on the 2 farmhouses and the 300 acres. And my dad's a farmer, he's a logger and a farmer, and he's 60 years old. And my mom has worked the same job since she's 18 years old at the hospital. And so like they'll be the first to say they just don't have a lot of money. And, when we found out that they were going to lose the farm, I had made it a goal to buy part of the farm for my family so that we could keep it in the family. And so they had to sell us, they had to subdivide the land and then sell us the land. And it's just crazy how it all worked out. Like the town was going to take the farm the day that we bought it from my parents. Like they had to, like the story of it is basically they, like the day we met with the lawyers for them to sell us the $70,000 worth of land to save on all the back taxes and stuff, the town was closed, but they made sure to stay open just so that our lawyer could bring that $70,000 check to the town clerk. And so that goal for us, that was my financial burden of, okay, it's not that my husband, he has a great job and thank God he supports our family, but he couldn't just come up with $70,000, and so that's where photography really went from a hobby for me to, I need to make this work and help save this land that I love so much. So it's really a blessing. Yeah.
It gives me goosebumps every time I hear that, because I think a lot of photographers can relate. They're in a situation where they love doing photography, but they want to support their family that way, and sometimes it's hard to make that transition. So you obviously decided to do it as a business. Kind of what was that like in the...
Oh, sorry, you went out a little bit. What did you say?
I said, so you decided you needed to make money for the farm, so to help save the farm. So what was that like in the very beginning for you?
Oh gosh, what was it like, to realize that I needed to make money as a business, to pay off something huge?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a burden that at first seemed unattainable based on my past and what I had been doing, and then to find help and to figure out how to do it the right way was a freaking miracle. I mean, the fact that we've been able to make it work and to do it right, and to see it prosper, and to see how working your ass off can really also mean so my favorite mantra is working smarter, not harder, right? And so before learning how to actually do it, I was working myself to the bone. And I don't know if you want me to go into that or...
Yeah, I'd love to hear that, because I think people relate really well to that.
Yeah. So
what was last year like for you while you're trying to earn that money for the farm?
Oh my God. Brutal. It was brutal. I'm so thankful that I know what I'm so thankful. I don't want to come across that I'm complaining about work, because I know that we want work. But when it comes to doing something that's like a passion and, an art-based, what's the word I'm looking for? Art-based way to make money, it's really hard to value yourself. And so here I am going out every single day. I'm working during the day, whether it's responding to emails and inquiries and questions and coaching people on their sessions, to then leaving at 5 o'clock at night, shooting for a few hours, coming home, immediately importing those cards, immediately working on pictures for them. And then the editing that following that is like 3 weeks per session. So I'm doing sessions every single day. So my family we were a sad bunch of coconuts last year. It was bad. They never saw me. And I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I'm homeschooling, and my poor kids, they were like it wasn't who I wanted to be. And I work, you know, but it's because I love what I do, and I would never say no to anybody. And I needed money. I need money to pay my bills. And then sadly, to come to find out, the worst part about it was when I was working so hard and then coming in the negative. So after all, like each shoot costs money for me in the business, and to find that the money I'm charging for my shoots is not matching the money that I owe, you know, it really should be the other way around, right? And so that I can actually be profitable, so that I make it worth my time. And that's where, you know, learning how, you know, what's the point of doing it and working your butt off just to come in on the negative? What's the point of doing it, working your butt off just to come even? There really is no point in working so hard for either of those. It has to be sustainable. It has to be worth it, so that, you know, when I'm missing these hours and hours with my kids, and then my husband comes home and then he's watching the kids and I have to go up into the office, and it's just, this is before, you know, your boot camp, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was brutal at first.
Yeah. So what do you feel like you struggled with most? Just that balance, or?
Balance. Yeah. Balance big time, and struggling with my worth. And like, I spend so much time and so much money on being the best that I can be for the people that I work for. And that has to come at a price. Like, I can't be spending thousands of dollars learning, and thousands of dollars on equipment, and thousands of dollars on insurance and gear and all of this, only to charge $295 is just so far from sustainable. It's like the most, like, my body hurts just talking about it. Like, my chest is tense, like, to think I did that. And all the tears, like the tears from my boys, and the strain, you know, of being the family unit, because I was never, you know, there. Frozen. Can you hear me okay?
You're in and out, but I think you're okay.
I can't quite hear you.
Oh, am I frozen?
I'm trying to think if maybe I move you.
Am I still here?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're out on the farm, I know, so the internet's in and out. No worries.
Oh man, it sounds like the
there?
CD that's like on skip.
Uh-oh. I wonder if that's on my end or your end.
I'm not quite sure what to do because I can't hear you on that. It says poor connection. I wonder if I move. I'm sorry, La. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Oh, you can?
You're a little frozen. Yeah, I can hear you.
It's like totally frozen. So I'm looking at your beautiful face, but
You're kind of in and out, but that's okay. We may have to rejoin or something.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I just heard rejoin or something. Is that what I should do?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Oh, hi. Okay, I see you blink. You're there. Oh, no, it's I'm sorry. It's raining here, and so I don't know. I'm in the best spot in my house. I don't quite know what to do.
You're good. You're good. I think you're good. We can see and hear you, so it might just be in and out. That happens. It's called life.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So you were charging $295 for a session. And when I met you last fall, we sat down and actually looked at your cost of doing business and business expenses. And that's when you found out that your business expenses broken down per shoot were actually almost double what you were charging.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Scary.
And then
that was bad. That was not good. That was really crazy. Yeah.
So, and it's just, it's normal. It's completely normal. But like, tell us kind of what that felt like for you, and then where you went from there.
Oh, yeah. So, you know, when you help show me my numbers and just the cost of doing business, which is something I had never done, every little thing adds up. And so that was a harsh reality, but it also was a huge inspiration for me to really do it right this time. And so we took those numbers and we revamped, and it was really, really, really scary, because the last thing I want people thinking is that I'm ripping them off. You know, when they know they can get a photographer at a different price than what I'm offering, it made me feel really uncomfortable, because I'm not charging these numbers because I think I'm the shit. I'm charging them because of what it cost me to get there. and then some, to make it worth my time of doing, so that I'm not just leaving my family just to break even or to be in the negative. So it was a really scary jump. And, you know, you've gotten me outside my comfort zone more times than I wish to admit. Even being on a live video, this is my first live ever, and I'm like, trying to act
so proud of you.
But that's when the beauty happens, is outside your comfort zone, right? So you know, it went from really scary, it went from unbelievable to really scary to a huge motivator to now I see it, and I've seen the light, and I get it.
Yeah. So I know you just had your had a session where you did everything that we teach in the boot camp, like from start to finish, which is, you know, in-person consultations, to your pricing is set where it's profitable, to understanding how to serve your client and how to sell without selling, which there's this new, or it's not new, but I have a new definition for IPS. It is no longer in-person sales, it's in-person serving. Because when you serve your clients, the money comes. You don't have to sell anything. So learning that and learning the conversations and things like that, you emailed me the other day and made a $2,350 sale on one session, whereas before you were doing $295. So tell me, like, what breakthroughs did you have, and then how did it feel to get from $295 to $2,350?
Oh, yeah. So the breakthroughs were, well, just like you said, IPS, in-person serving. Like, when you want to make it the best possible session for these people, it just completely changes the mindset of what it is that you're doing. So instead of looking at, oh, how much can I make? How much money can I, you know, bring in from the sale? It was, how can I make this session the absolute best session for these people? And what can I offer them that's unique and will last a lifetime and be an heirloom product? And so the breakthrough was that, is how to serve. And everything, honestly, like, the course was so natural, like from talking with them on the phone to pre-qualify them. Are we a good fit? Having them come in the studio to see the products and see if they liked what it was that I'd offer. They loved it. Having them come, you know, in and try on clothes and see what looks good, and then going and doing the session and really taking it to the top with what I can do to provide it as an experience and a memory. And then having them come in for the reveal and seeing their images and just falling in love with them. It just was a natural flow. And as uncomfortable as I was, because it, you know, at first it also was very seamless. And it was a very weird feeling, because it was uncomfortable, but it was also so natural, and it felt right. Everything felt right, and it felt right for them. And it was definitely just a you know, a $2,350 sale, and they're over the moon about it. So
Did you think that they were going to spend that much?
No. I didn't.
Yeah.
What's the matter? I'm sorry, I've got an upset little baby.
No, you're good. Being a mom, it's real life.
Yeah,
totally.
Right. So I really had no idea. You know, it makes me sweaty just thinking about it at first, but yeah, it makes sense. You know, I would too. I mean, I was in love with their images, so.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Hi. Which one is this?
This one's Mason.
Hi, Mason. What a cutie.
Thank you.
So how do you feel about your business today versus last year?
Oh, I feel so much better. I feel so much better about it. And I feel I feel like the people that I get to work with this year, I'm just so excited because they all know what they do, but they have no idea what they're in for. Like, they're going to have the best experience, and we're going to make the most beautiful art that they're going to just gush over. And I can't wait to see the difference this year too. Is I can't wait to see these pictures that they send to me up on their wall versus on their Facebook wall. And that's kind of where also it changes from finding the ideal client that's just looking for the shoot and burn, where you're giving them pictures and they're putting it on their Facebook wall for everyone to see, versus people that really treasure and value the heirloom aspect of a canvas or an album or just prints in general. So this year I feel so good about the art that I'm going to make. I love the families and the couples that I'm working with. And that's the difference too. I get to chat with them more often. I have less people I'm working with, and that way they get my attention, my full attention, which is I'm not used to. And I feel bad. Like, going back, I want to write like sorry cards to everybody because they didn't get my full attention because I was so strained on who and everybody that I was working with. So this year I'm just really excited to work with everyone and make beautiful art. Yeah.
How has it changed for your family?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's huge. I mean, going from doing 7 to 10, some weekends I did 2 or 3. Are you sitting on the table? Sitting on the table. So, going from 2 to 4 sessions a weekend to now just 2 sessions a weekend, or going from 7 sessions a week to 3 or 4, my family will benefit greatly. They're not going to have me out all the time, and we're not going to have tears as often. And just a happier family unit. And so that these are the best years of my life right now. I love these ages. I love being home, and I don't want to miss it. And so I'm really excited about being home with them and soaking up every minute that I can get.
Yeah. So it's changed from being stressed and busy to opening up a possibility of having good balance, of being able to have a profitable photography business and serve your clients to the best of your ability, but also be the best mom and the best wife possible.
Right. That's right.
That was our goal, right?
That's the goal. That is the goal. Best mom, best wife, and friends. My poor friends. I was such a crappy friend last year. They're inviting me to do things, and I'd always have to say no, and it felt so like it's just not a good place to be. It's not worth it. And that's, again, what you're taught is just to value your worth and what is worth it, so thank you.
Yeah, for sure. You're welcome. It's been my honor to work with you. I know we were like, I can't wait to meet you in September. Emily is actually, I'm actually going to go out and have Emily do a shoot of me and my husband, Damon. So I'm so excited for that. And finally meet my soul sister.
Yeah, girl. I'm so excited.
So before we let you go and get back to your boys, what would be the number one piece of advice that you would have for other photographers?
Just one? Oh God. I mean, the first thing that advice that would come to mind is to work with you. That's the first thing, because honestly, if I hadn't have found you, La, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't. And I've worked with other photographers before and mentoring, and I learned so much from you. And so that is obviously my first piece of advice. And then what you do is you really teach how to actually make yourself make a sustainable business work from start to finish. So you really cover every single bit of the process. And that's why I recommend you, because you don't just work on one thing. You start from the very beginning and you bring us all the way through to the very end. And that's what I needed. And so my advice would be definitely you working with a mentor as a mentor. And then to also just know your worth. And I guess because the first thing that really got us on this train was to talk about numbers, right? And so that, figuring out your cost of doing business and then looking at what you're actually charging and see the difference there. Because I think I know I'm not the only one that just, kind of came up with a number without realizing all the things that you don't realize you're working because you love what you do. So
yeah, and everybody's why and everybody's prices are going to be different. So you can't just look at the photographer down the road and see what they're charging and then kind of average everybody around you. Yeah, for sure. And I'm flattered that you're giving me a call out and saying people should work with me, but I think I totally agree with your advice that for photographers who are struggling, it doesn't have to be me necessarily, but find a mentor who you resonate with and ask for help and see if you can get, a mentorship. And obviously you're going to have to pay for that because their time is valuable and their time is just as valuable as yours is. But find someone who can mentor you and help you get your business where you want it to go. So I would say, I'm not a fit for everyone. I would love to be, but even if I'm not a fit for you, definitely find a mentor that you resonate with and that can help you get your business where you want it to go. For sure. Yay. Yeah. Well, anything else you want to add?
Oh, I just love you. I just love you, and I'm so thankful I found you.
Oh, I love you too.
Yeah. This power of social media is really cool.
Awesome. Well, I will let you get back to your boys, and thank you everybody that joined us. And next week, hopefully we will be doing another interview, maybe with Kira if she can find the time. But otherwise, if you guys want to have any questions or anything like that, send me a PM. If you guys want to hear more interviews or what do you guys want to know, let me know. For taking time out of your day and joining us.
Anytime. Thank you for asking. It was an honor.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.